I'm Dr. Arnold Smith from Greenwood, Mississippi, and I own the Cancer Center in Greenwood, or at least the radiation therapy portion of the Cancer Center. At the time of the ice storm in December of 1997 and early 1998, I began to experience a carefully planned and well-executed series of break-ins at my house and at the Greenwood LaFleur Cancer Center. The intent of these break-ins, in my opinion, was to steal certain things from me, particularly documents. The real objective was to steal the property rights embodied in legal documents by substituting the front pages and leaving the signature sheets in place. This is really serious stuff. The cover for this was lots of other substitutions, such as chairs and lamps, and the theft of coins and jewelry and other things. You know, that's the smoke screen. The real theft was the documents. Numerous documents of my that I owned not only left, but came back again. So I could not control my papers. The security of your person and papers is extremely important. That's what civilization depends on. If you can't protect your person and your contracts, which are embodied in your papers, you can't have civilization. The cover for these documents was all this little stuff. When I say little stuff, it was $25,000, $30,000 worth of stuff. Not that little, really, but compared to what was important to me, which is my right to the Cancer Center and my contract relationships with my associate. These thefts were carried out in a way that would make complaints about them seem incredible. Make you, if you detailed the nature of these individual substitutions or thefts to the average person, they would begin to wonder whether you were telling the truth or whether you were somehow not totally balanced in the brain. But that's the object of the type of skill I was up against. These people were not amateurs. They could pick a Abaloy or Medico lock like it wasn't there. I mean, these were high-skilled people. When I hired Rex Armistead, an investigator of good standing, long familiar with the mafia-like operations in the Greenwood area, he told me that there were people that could get into the cargo of a 18-wheeler, past a high-security lock, past a seal, and replace them with no difficulties. If they can do that, they can sure get in your house. And if your house can be watched, and when you're out of town, and they can get in there past your locks, past that's physical security, past your electronic security, because they're familiar with that too, you don't have any security. So it's important, I think, to realize that people like Goldkist can have their property rights disappear out of minutes kept in the Chamber of Commerce office. Physicians who come to town to try to establish a new service for the area and for the community can have their property rights attacked by plumber-like operations of the very same character as what happened to Goldkist. I think that's important. I think people need to realize that if you're going to go to a community and expect fair play, that fair play has to mean lawful behavior on the part of government. And that's the judiciary, and that's the executive function, that's the whole ball of wax that constitutes what we know as government. If they don't protect you, or if they participate, you've got big problems. Now this chair instance, which you'll see in this video, is really just about a chair, but the nature of it will tell you the skill of what's involved and the people that can execute this kind of thing. You can go to China now and you can hire a person for a week for $26, and they can make anything you want them to make. And if you can substitute a chair, you can damn well substitute a document. So Just keep that in mind as you watch this video. Thank you. This is Louise Williamson, and this is the 13th of January, 2002. I have asked Louise Williamson to come and talk with us about some of her work here in Greenwood. Louise, you do a lot of reupholstering work for people, do you not?
Yes, I do.
And I consider Louise quite an artist. She does good work.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
As you know, Louise, I have an interest in restoring things. I restore old people if I can.
Right.
And you restore old furniture, right?
And I've restored quite a bit for you
You
through
have.
the years.
You have done quite a bit for me. And you know that I like antiques or
Yes.
like older furniture, whether they're things that are not new. And you've been very active and helpful to me in doing some of this restoration work. Now, you don't usually do the refinishing of the furniture themselves. Usually.
Not anymore.
Not
We did
used
for
to.
years, but I haven't done it in about 10 or 15 years
But you
now.
do a lot of the upholstery work.
Do a lot of the upholstery work. In fact,
And
I do all the upholstery work that's
you
done
do
in my shop now.
You do all of it.
All of it.
And you don't have a big shop. Most of it's done just by you, isn't it?
By me.
So this is hand
Work
done
by myself.
you. And Louise, you did the chair that I'm sitting in, did you not?
Yes, I did.
And you'll notice Louise's work is characterized by, for one thing, there's a double bead around this whole back. I bought the chair at an auction and had it refinished.
Yes.
And I think I may have brought it to you actually in its native right from the auction, didn't I?
Right.
And you took it apart and
Yes.
you took it down to the springs and you sent it off and got Goss to
Removed
finish
everything
it.
from it.
And then you did this, and you can look at the back, and we can see here that it has this characteristic double bead around the back, right? Makes it
Yes.
very attractive, very nice. So you've done, this is sort of your way of doing things, is it not?
Exactly, yes. Most of them are finished off now. For years they used tacks, but they've gone to double cording quite a lot.
Double
now.
cording is the most
Yes.
it's the most elegant.
Right.
It makes a lot more time, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
So
It's all hand done.
So it takes a great deal of
Cut it
time.
and sew it.
Takes a good bit of time.
Yes.
Right, now I'm going to, now you've done, Louise, you have done, your shop, I see a lot of furniture in there. You do a lot of antiques for various people, do you not?
Yes. Mostly on old furniture.
You do I think you sort of do the what I would say high-end restoration for
Exactly.
Greenwood,
Yes,
don't
I
you?
do. Yes, I do.
And you
have
get
for a long time.
You get a lot of fine Victorian antiques in there
Yes.
that people want done right.
Correct.
And they pay you adequately to do them right. Is that right?
Most of the time.
At least that's the goal, right? All right. And you've been doing this for how long have you been doing this?
February the 1st, I will start my 44th year.
So you've been doing this work for 44 years.
43. Completed 43 years.
And that's a long time,
That's a
isn't it?
long time.
And you've been doing the same business,
Same business.
And you're-
in
so
the
you-
same spot.
the same spot. 44 years, same
44
spot even,
years,
huh?
Same spot.
Well, that's very interesting.
Yes.
That's a long career.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to take this chair out just a second, and I'm going to bring another chair in. Now, Louise, this chair is a Victorian, Eastlake Victorian chair, isn't it?
Right. Yes, it is.
And I think it was done in a similar fashion. I brought it to you. You took it apart. We had it refinished. You did the cording. You remember this chair, don't you?
I remember that chair. I think it was about the first one I did for you.
I think it was
Right.
one of the first
Pretty
two you did
close.
for me.
I think
And I
so.
liked it very well. And you did a nice work, and it made the chair. It's not a really fine chair,
Right.
but it looks nice now.
Yes.
And the fabric made it look nice. It was just it came out good. I was well pleased with it.
Good.
And I still am, still use it. Got it in one of my bedrooms. And it shows the sign of your workmanship, the double cording, Nicely done. Everything about it fits, right?
Yes.
And you're proud of it, right?
I'm proud.
I see you look at it now and see pride in your face. Okay, now I'm gonna move this one over here too.
Comes another one. I
This
remember
chair
that material.
is one of several chairs, right?
Right. Yes.
These came out of the ballroom of the King Edwards Hotel in Jackson.
That's right.
Were refinished, and this is my dining room chair set. And you redid this for me in the same fashion. The double cording, same sort of chair, right?
Yes.
Now, Louise, I'm going to sit down in this chair.
As I remember, there were quite a few of them.
There were, oh yeah, about 10 of them or something,
10
yeah.
or 12.
10 or
yes.
12, yeah. And you did them all. That was a big job, wasn't it?
Took a while.
Took a long time.
But we got there.
You got there. Now, Louise, there was another chair I want you to try to remember. This was a chair that I got from Russell's Antiques. It was a tall rosewood chair that looked kind of gothic, and I took it over there first, and you told me that you thought maybe we shouldn't refinish it, but we should try to restore it, to hand restore it.
Right.
And you started trying to work on that restoration,
Right.
and you couldn't get the finish to come off right.
Exactly.
Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And you said, "Well, I've tried it, but I just don't think it's going to work."
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we better send it over to Goss to get them
Right.
to strip it, right? So they stripped it. You took it apart, I think.
Yes. Down to the wood.
Down to the wood. We sent it over there. I paid him, of course, to do that. I brought it back to you, and you redid it for me, right?
Started at the bottom and worked up.
Started from the bottom, and it was an unusual looking
Yes,
chair,
it
wasn't
was.
it?
Beautiful chair.
Beautiful chair, and distinctive too, right?
Exactly. And rosewood is such a good wood.
And solid rosewood, a really nice chair, yeah.
Yes.
And so you remember that chair, don't you think? It was an unusual chair, wasn't
Yes,
it?
it was.
Very unusual. Now, you think you'd probably remember that chair if you were to see it, right?
Probably.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna leave this over here, and I'm gonna bring this chair in and see if you remember this chair.
Yes, I do.
That's you recognize it, huh? You recognize it anywhere, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna bring it a little closer. Does it look like your chair? Let me bring it a little closer yet.
It has gimp around it.
But you don't do gimp, do you?
Not very often.
Look at it closer. What do you see? Looks just like it, doesn't it?
It looks just like it.
Looks just like it.
Except
Look at the back.
it doesn't quite look like mine.
What do you see?
I see gimp.
You see rosewood?
I see rosewood, or at least it looks like rosewood.
Look at it closely.
Is it fake?
It's fake.
Uh-huh.
It's not rosewood, is
No,
it?
you can see the
But the
lines
chair that you
on the
refinished for me was rosewood,
It was
wasn't it?
rosewood, or at least I thought it was. at
No,
the
it
time.
was rosewood.
It was rosewood.
Yeah,
All right.
look at the bottom of this. See, this is what this is. It's been grained to look like rosewood, isn't it?
Yes,
But it's a good job, isn't it?
very good.
It's hard to recognize.
All from it, you don't.
That's right. So until you look at it close, it looks almost identical to your chair.
Well, I thought it was because I was looking at the work.
Well, you look at it's the same green. It's a green colored fabric, and yet the green that you saw in that first chair, that's the green that you put on this chair.
Okay.
Not this green.
Okay.
This is not a good quality fabric, is it? And they use the gimp.
The gimp.
And the rosewood that was in the chair that you did for me is not in this chair. This is grain, something else, isn't it? But done very, very professionally, right?
Very good.
Very professionally. So unless you were an expert, unless you knew the chair or were an expert, you might not.
You wouldn't know.
You wouldn't
that
know
it was, No.
No. Now, Louise, if you were a person, let's suppose you had a chair like that, like the chair that you did for me in your house. Do you think that if the chair, if there were a substitution, do you think you'd recognize that?
I probably would. I might not right at the moment.
Yeah.
But after I looked at it,
If
it
once
would
you
dawn on me
after a while,
that it
but then
would
you know your
come to
woods,
me.
don't you?
Well, some of them.
You know your woods and your fabric. You know what your workmanship.
Yeah.
But you might not recognize it right off, would
No,
you?
no. It'd take you a little bit. Just like that, I was looking at the material rather than the wood because I thought it was rosewood.
So
Just looking at
it looks like it's a good. It's made to look just like rosewood, isn't it?
If you tell me that.
Well, don't you think? I mean,
I
what do you
think
think?
so.
I mean, you thought it was rosewood, right?
I did. I did.
Well, but this is not. I think what I have here, Louise, is a counterfeit chair, made to look identical to my very unique rosewood chair.
Exactly.
But this is worth. I paid $500 for my $600 for my chair. I think I paid you $600 for the upholstery job, and $200 to have it refinished. And this chair is probably worth $100. So what the value of the chair has been stolen away, and what I have here is a counterfeit chair.
Counterfeit chair.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So if there were somebody that was able to come in your house and do that to you, you'd have a problem, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Big problem.
Big problem.
And that's exactly what I think we have here in Greenwood. It's people that do that. I think there are people
that
who clean houses who are in the business of counterfeiting antique furniture. And they do it with such precision that old people don't know.
Really?
Yep.
That's a new one for me. I haven't heard anything
That's what
about
I think
that.
exactly what's happening. And that's a big problem for people because you can have this in a back bedroom or someplace. I could have it here. I don't know when this chair got swapped in my house, but it got swapped. Your chair is gone. My beautiful chair that you did for me is gone. Your workmanship is in somebody else's house. I don't know where it is.
Oh my goodness. I had no idea anything like that would be taking place in Greenwood.
Somebody, don't know who.
So, it would take a real professional.
Take a real professional. It would take somebody that would know.
Somebody
has to have the ability to get counterfeit chairs made with accuracy and precision.
Exactly. And that doesn't sound like Greenwood to me. It looks like it would have to be someone coming in here. I don't think anybody would have. You'd have to have some kind of connection.
You'd have to have somebody from maybe in another country who was just really good at making imitation
chairs.
Imitation furniture.
Because I don't think there are many people around here that could do this type work.
This couldn't be done here.
Not here.
Because they'd have to take photographs and size it and then send it somewhere and have it made, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would think so.
Be quite
This blows my mind. I never
never
thought about something like
I
this
never thought
taking
about it.
place.
Most people wouldn't be aware of that. See, but just imagine if you had a house cleaning business or a security business, and what you really were in the business is of counterfeiting furniture, particularly in old people's houses who wouldn't know it right away.
Right.
You could steal a lot of valuable furniture, couldn't you?
You see something sitting there every day, and you assume that it's yours. You don't really look at it closely.
No,
and
you don't,
examine
do you?
it. You just say that chair's there, and it's been there a long time.
That's right. You don't.
That's amazing.
But because it's so accurate, isn't it?
Yes.
Very accurate. Well, that's all. I'm just.
When did you discover this?
I discovered it about a year and a half ago. I had some valuable documents swapped in the same manner.
Oh my goodness.
The front pages of the documents were switched, and the signature pages were left in place. And I think the same person did it.
Have you had different
I have
cleaning services come in?
No, I have only had one. I know. I have a feeling I know who did it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it's been a problem for me because a number of other things were swapped. The whole bedroom suite was swapped.
Oh my goodness.
And very accurate too.
A whole bedroom
A whole suit.
suit?
I had a bed, a four-poster bed, a dresser, a chest of drawers, and a nightstand, all swapped. I had one that was solid maple, and when I got through, what I had was grained, just to look like maple, it looked very similar, very similar. And it was some cheap wood. It wasn't a good wood. shoddy. Workmanship was not there.
When and how did it finally dawn on you that it was not the real thing?
I just went in there and I noticed that the wood had been broken, and it was not. It was white. See, this wood. If you scratch this wood, it's a white. It's not. It hasn't got the color of the natural. Maple has a certain kind of yellowish wood. Just like rosewood has a rosy wood. That's the natural color of the wood.
Exactly.
Now, if you get an imitation wood and you stain it to look like some other kind of wood, then if you ever scratch it or break it, the wood's not going to be the same, right?
Right.
Well, this bed had been broken, and the wood but they didn't dare stain the part where they broke, and it was white. It wasn't maple. And I looked at it and said, "This." And I started looking at it, and I'd had some other things in my house swapped.
So you were a little suspicious.
I had sterling silver swapped. I had a bedroom suit. I had your chair disappear. I had a number of things. A lamp that was swapped for a broken lamp. I found I had a perfectly good one, and I had one that was broken. It was virtually worthless because it was broken. You take an antique lamp and knock a piece out of it, and
it loses its value.
But if you find one just very similar to it, it wasn't identical to my lamp, but it was close enough that I didn't recognize.
Pay attention to it.
It didn't dawn on me that the thing had been swapped.
I just find that hard to fathom.
But there's no way a chair. We're going to look at this chair again. There's no way that you could. I mean, you can't go in a store and find a chair like that, can you?
No.
I mean, I've never seen a chair like. I've shopped for antiques all my life. I've never seen a chair that looks like that. They used to put these in churches, I think, a lot, didn't they? These were the kind that were often some kind of part of religious ceremonies. And a chair like this that's rosewood would be like they're just you'd never be able to get one out of a catalog, right? I mean,
no, I wouldn't think so.
And to get one that looked just as look how good that rose graining is in there. That's done with high professionalism. But some of the carving is not as nice as the other one. You know, that's kind of jigged out there.
Right.
There's some of the detail of the carving is not quite as good. But as far as a reproduction, I mean, that's a piece of art, isn't it?
Yes, it is, evidently.
Look at it, though. You remember it, don't you? What do you think about it, Louise?
Well, where it's worn back here too, you don't see any. You don't see any of the rosewood color.
So it's just it's counterfeit, isn't it?
Right.
Counterfeit.
Evidently.
Okay, well, Louise, thank you. That's what I wanted to get you to tell me about, because I wanted your expertise in this matter.
It is, and the stripes in it looks a little wide too. Now that I get to looking at it.
It's too rosewood, isn't it? It's too exaggerated. It's just a good
imitation.
It's a good imitation.
If you put it off in the corner somewhere,
you never know it.
Never know it.
Yeah, I think this is going on in Greenwood, and it needs to stop, because I didn't appreciate it.
No, I should think not.
Because they stole $1,000 worth of value right out, and I don't know exactly when it happened.
And left you with nothing.
Yeah, left me with a piece of counterfeit crap worth about $100. I couldn't sell it for $100. You know, I couldn't. I mean, it's just a counterfeit chair. What would you do if it were your chair?
I'd have to think about it. I'm not sure. I'd be sick about it.
You've just seen Louise Williamson describe a chair, but this was the nicest chair I had. This was rosewood, this was finely crafted, and this was replaced. And you also saw my reaction to this theft. My reaction has been even worse to documents which were switched systematically in a premeditated, by a legal mind. And you can imagine my disappointment when I found that the person put in my security system was a 2-time drug felon up for his 3rd conviction. And when I complain to the mayor, I'm told by my representative that the mayor thinks I don't have a problem. Well, I'm sorry, Mayor, I do have a problem. I have a problem with my physical things being stolen out of my house, and I have a problem with my documents being altered. And I have a problem with a civilization or an attempt at civilization which doesn't provide safety of your documents, because that's not the way things are supposed to be.